everyone, and thank you for joining us for this live webinar in partnership with Sovereign, all about the shared ownership homes they have available at the Horlicks Quarter development in Slough. I'm Jade Turnstill from Share to Buy, and I'll be hosting today's session alongside Hope Bailey and Joe Fenn from Sovereign and Fatima Khan from Firstxtra Financial Services. However, just before I pass over to our speakers, I wanted to run through some quick housekeeping for the session. Firstly, our speakers are going to run through their presentations before opening up to a live Q&A session, which will last for around 10 to 15 minutes at the end. So if you have any questions for our experts, please pop them in the chat tool to the right-hand side, where you'll see a couple of little speech bubbles, and we'll get through as many as we can at the end of the session. It's also worth keeping an eye on the offers tab on the right-hand side, as we'll be sharing a link with you to engage with partway through the webinar. And today's session will also be recorded and shared with you afterwards. So don't worry if you happen to miss anything along the way. We'll make sure that you have access to the recording once the webinar has ended. That's pretty much it for me for now. I'll be back at the end of the presentation for the Q&A. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass over to the team at Sovereign.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Jade. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. So just following on from those introductions, my name's Hope Bailey, and I'm a sales manager here at Sovereign. I've been working with the company for 8 years, helping move our customers into their dream shared ownership homes.
Thank you, Hope. Hi, everybody. My name's Jo, and I'm a sales consultant at Sovereign covering the East, and I've been at Sovereign for 18 months.
Hi, everybody. My name's Fatima. I'm a financial advisor at Firstxtra, and I've been with the company for 6 years.
Thank you. So just following up on that brief content run through, we're here today to give you an insight into shared ownership and how it works, show off some of our exciting new apartments at the Horlicks Quarter, talking about the location. We'll also hear from Fatima on how to apply, and then there'll be an opportunity to ask us some questions regarding the site or shared ownership. So please do make sure you stick around until after the Q&A to find out how to apply on our exclusive first release. So Sovereign have an extensive history providing affordable housing, and shared ownership, and are one of the largest providers in the UK. We have over 60,000 homes and counting. Over the last year, we have helped 531 customers purchase their own shared ownership property across the south of England. We also won Best Shared Ownership Development Urban in 2021 for our stunning Wapping Wharf development in Bristol, which featured 93 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for shared ownership.
I'm now going to talk through the Horlicks Quarter development in more detail. At Horlicks Quarter, we are offering a total of 50 apartments for shared ownership. These will be split between 10 one-bedroom apartments and 40 two-bedroom apartments. The lease with your property is 990 years. All properties are going to be ready for you to move into from early next year. Located on the former site of the Horlicks factory, we have partnered with the luxury developer Berkshire Homes to deliver these stunning apartments via the shared ownership scheme. The site not only offers affordable living in Slough, but the layout has specifically been designed to create a real community feel for the residents, with a plan for an on-site cafe, retail commercial spaces, a nursery, and ample outdoor community space. Our apartments at Horlicks Quarter are ideally located for those who wish to be close to local amenities and the town centre. Slough Town Centre is just a short 10-minute walk away and benefits from the iconic Curve Library and Cultural Centre, ample shops and a range of restaurants.
Horlicks is in a prime position to offer customers ease of access to London, with the bus and railway stations being less than a 10-minute walk away. Trains from the station take approximately 15 minutes to London Paddington, and the station also offers access to the Elizabeth line. Or for those of you who wish to travel for pleasure, the beautiful and historic town of Windsor is just a 6-minute train ride away. Horlicks Quarter residents will also have access to an exclusive car club, full details of which will be provided upon application.
The Horlicks site itself benefits from an extensive and beautifully designed outdoor communal space that connects each area of the site. This includes a water feature, the landmark Horlicks chimney and clock tower, all being the most prominent features of this lovely site. Residents will have the space to walk the grounds or sit and have a coffee or lunch with friends. The lovely Salthall Park is just a stone's throw away and offers a formal landscape gardens, tennis courts, play areas and a cafe. There is also Salt Hill Activity Centre, which offers all year round fun and adventure activities for the whole family to enjoy. However, if you'd like to venture further afield, why not visit the beautiful surrounding countryside of Berkshire? There are sailing clubs and golf courses. You really are spoilt for choice.
Horlicks is ideally located to offer commuters a base outside of central London, but still within easy commuting distance. Very conveniently located for those of you needing to travel to Heathrow Airport for work or pleasure. Be there via car within 17 minutes or via rail from Slough Station in just over half an hour. So overall, Horlicks really is a fantastic place to be, whether you live and work in Slough or the surrounding areas. So next up, we're going to play you a short video from Jenny Grote, our Regional Head of Development, which will give you more of an insight into the history of Horlicks and how we've worked with Berkeley to restore this iconic landmark and ensure its benefit to future generations.
Horlicks Quarter is steeped in history.
Horlicks Quarter is steeped in history. The development's very sympathetic to that historical legacy.
It was purchased in 1906 from Eton College and became operational as a factory in 1908. It closed fairly recently in 2018. There's been generations of families who are local to this area who worked at the factory over the years. So many of the buildings have been kept in the original factory. There's the clock tower, which looks quite like some of the turrets on Windsor Castle. That's being restored and will have a working clock on it. It's the landmark chimney, which is just beautifully restored. So it just will look really beautiful in the wider town and for the local people. So part of the placemaking that we've worked on is the podium garden. That will involve some seating areas. So a really lovely place for our residents to sit and socialise with each other. So as the residents start to move into this development, they'll really benefit from the connectivity. You're 20 minutes to central London on the train, 6 minutes to Windsor and about 20 minutes to Heathrow, and actually 5 minutes to the M4. So in the town there's the Curve, the Library and Arts Centre, which the residents will be able to enjoy. A whole range of really interesting opportunities for the people who move into this new development. It really is amazing how the development will bring the old properties back into use. We have a range of 1 and 2 bedroom properties with slightly different layouts arranged in different floors within the warehouse building. It's just the most beautiful environment being created around these new homes and the old, taking Horlicks Quarter into the future and really building on the assets within Slough and the wider area.
Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed that exciting glimpse of the Horlicks site. And now I'm handing over to Fatima, who will tell you more on how you can apply.
Hi, so I'm Fatima. Just in case you joined late, I'm the mortgage broker here at Firstxtra. And we've partnered with Sovereign as a member of their broker panel to help assess customers and support them through the application process and all things mortgage related. So what is shared ownership? It's a part-buy, part-rent scheme designed to make ownership accessible and affordable to local customers. Sovereign will partner with you to share the cost of your home, with initial shares ranging from 30 to 75% for this site. Following this, you can purchase more shares in the future and eventually own the property outright. This gives you flexibility to purchase a share that is affordable to you in the first instance. And this is particularly beneficial in Slough, where the average price of a new build home is $679,000. So what is a financial assessment? So once the applications are open, you'll be asked to call me to complete a quick 10-minute over-the-phone financial assessment. And this is done to help determine that the property will be affordable for you long-term and also what initial share you would be able to purchase. And I will also be able to offer you ongoing financial advice regarding mortgage offers, interest rates and lender affordability.
Brilliant, thank you, Fatima. So what's next? We are offering our customers who have attended this webinar and registered their preference directly with us using the link that will appear on your screen shortly, the opportunity to be part of our VIP release next Wednesday, the 12th of October. This means you will have a first choice of a range of layouts of the apartments before they are released to the general public. I'm now going to show you just a couple of layouts that will be available for the launch. As part of our exclusive first release, there will be a mix of one-bedroom apartment types to choose from, an example of which can be seen here. One-bedroom homes will start from initial shares of 40%, which is 116,000. There will be a choice of layouts and also orientations, with some properties overlooking a beautiful memorial courtyard, and other properties on higher levels also feature views of the surrounding countryside. Two-bedroom homes will start from initial shares of 30%, which is 117,000. The property layouts have a mixture of features, some which have an outside space on a balcony, and others will benefit from a Juliet balcony. Many of the apartments also have en-suites to the principal bedrooms. All of the apartments will come with luxury vinyl throughout the living spaces and carpets to the bedrooms. Properties also come with modern kitchens that benefit from an integrated oven, hob, and extractor fan.
Lovely, thanks, Jo. So now we're just going to hand back over to Jade, who is going to go over to any questions that you may have for us.
Hi, thank you so much. That was really, really interesting to see, and it looks like a great development. So yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into the Q&A because it's always the bit that people are here for and want to know more from you guys about the development and shared ownership as a whole, the mortgage side of things. So we'll start with one which is actually a question that was sent in advance when someone was registering for the session, and it's one that we get every single time we do a shared ownership webinar, and that is, are pets allowed? Do you accept pets at Horlicks Quarter?
Do you want me to take that one, Jo? Or?
Oh, no, right up, Jo. I'm happy to take it. So yes, pets are allowed at Horlicks. There is, however, an approval criteria from Berkeley Homes, and this will take place at reservation stage. However, no dangerous or exotic pets will be allowed.
No exotic pets, good to know. And I guess that's always an interesting question to ask, because obviously there are some limitations on certain developments for pets. You know, if you're in a top floor flat, you might be able to have a cat, but not necessarily a German Shepherd or a Labrador. So for those of you who are interested in pets at developments, whether that be Horlicks Quarter or otherwise, it's always definitely worth asking that question and making sure before you go ahead. And then we have a question for Fatima, which is, how long does the financial assessment take? So when you're actually buying the property?
Yeah, so the assessment should only take around 10 minutes, and all we would need is just your personal information, income details and expenditure, and then we can work out exactly what share you can buy and how much deposit you will need.
Fantastic. So it's just a short, sharp kind of conversation to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good to know. And then probably back over to the guys at Sovereign then, are there any other costs involved when buying a home? So specifically at Horlicks Quarter, other than you kind of like your deposit and, you know, if there is any kind of stamp duty or anything that you need to pay, is there any other kind of costs that people should be aware of?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, Jade, I think you probably covered the main ones there in terms of being aware of the deposit, any solicitor fees and any mortgage arrangement products. In terms of the shared ownership product in general, it would be between your mortgage, rent, and there will be a service charge for the site, and that will cover the maintenance of communal areas, building insurance and things like that, full details of which will be provided upon reservation. But other than that, there's no sort of other fees, just the usual.
Brilliant. And then at Shared to Buy, what we always say is kind of having around 5k, 4 to 5k kind of saved separately. And that's actually for stuff like, you know, solicitor fees, if there are mortgage fees, your moving costs, all those kind of costs that you sort of forget of that aren't necessarily related to the development. So not necessarily, you know, your deposit or the service charge, like you said, but those extra kind of costs that can crop up. Especially fees and costs elsewhere. So definitely just bearing in mind when you're kind of looking at your savings to keep a little bit of money aside to cover those extra costs separately. And then a very topical question. So I'm not surprised this has come up around interest rates rising. So Fatima, I'm going to throw to you for this one. Basically, with interest rate rising at the moment, how will that affect buyers' affordability?
Yeah, so interest rates have been going up in the last few months, more so maybe in the last few weeks. So when you call for an assessment, I'll be able to give you an idea of what rates are available that day. And then I can also give you an idea of monthly payments as well, so that you're aware if it will be affordable to you or not.
Sorry, just muted myself for a little cough there. I do apologise. Yeah, that's so topical at the moment, isn't it? It's on everyone's minds. We're hearing a lot about it. But, you know, the market is ever changing. So just keeping on top of it, making sure that you're clued up and on top of the news, and exactly speaking to the specialists like you guys over at Firstxtra to make sure you know what you can do. We've just had a question come in, which is when will Horlicks be ready for people to move in? Because I know the prices and stuff hasn't been released yet, has it? It's still coming soon at the moment.
Jo, do you want to do this one?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So we're looking at early next year. So hopefully about February, March time, hopefully we'll get completions in.
Brilliant. So not long to wait, seeing as we're already in October.
Not
long to go. Perfect. Do Sovereign have any other developments in other regions? That's an interesting question.
Yes, we do. We're quite a large provider. We have developments, oh my gosh, in Swindon, Gloucester, Bristol, all the way down to Devon, Dorset, Isle of Wight. We cover really the whole of the south of England. So quite a large geography. I think Horlicks is really one of our flagship schemes at the moment because it's so iconic. And Slough's an area that we haven't had a lot of sort of large apartment buildings in previously. So we're really excited sort of getting into the area and really making a community there.
That's brilliant. And I think it's one of those, isn't it? For so long, I think people thought shared ownership was just London. Mm-hmm. And it was like this kind of big myth around, you know, you can only get it in the kind of, or in the big city centres, stuff like that. So having you guys come on who specialise in these outside of London, especially, and have all of these kind of, you know, rural areas as well. People often think it's shared ownership, it's an apartment and it's in the city. It's good to know that actually, you know, if you're looking to move a bit further afield, there are options there for you. So that is brilliant. Thank you. And then we had a question here. Are there any age restrictions when trying to get a mortgage? So that's one for you, Fatima.
Yes. So with most lenders, they will go up to the age of 75. So it is difficult to try and get a mortgage after that age.
Okay, brilliant. And obviously there's a minimum of 18 as well. So you have to be 18 to get the mortgage, 18, but up to 75.
Yeah.
And then for those who are interested, there is, I don't know if it's something that Sovereign offer, but there's something called older person shared ownership as well, which is especially for ages 55 plus. I don't know if you guys offer that though.
We have had some of those and we do have more coming in future. So very topical, Jay, but I don't think we've got any available right now. But if that's something you're interested in, do register with us because we may have some stuff coming up in the future for that as well.
Fantastic. So yeah, just for anyone that is looking that's potentially 55 plus, just doing your research. Older person shared ownership is very similar to shared ownership. There's just caps on the amount that you can, what we call staircase, which is buy extra shares in your property. And on that, actually, we have had a question saying, can I buy more of the property later on? So that's back over to you, Sovereign.
Yes, absolutely. You are able to what we call staircase on these properties. So if you buy initial shares, say 30%, you would then subsequently be able to buy more shares over a period of time. And if you would like to own 100% of the property, you would be able to staircase to 100% for the apartments at Horlicks.
Fantastic. Thank you. And then I know you touched on service charges. So we've had kind of a couple of questions about that, sort of what's included in the service charge at Horlicks. What is the service charge? And if you know how much it will be, obviously, I know your pricing hasn't been confirmed for the development yet, so I'm not sure if you'll have that information, but worth asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure that I have that to hand at the moment. The service charge is an estimate at the moment, and then it will be confirmed based on the cost of the services it provides. So there'll be all sorts of things included, from the sort of gardening of communal areas, maintenance of any hallways, lifts, lighting to communal areas, and the building insurance. So what we do is we provide your solicitor with a full breakdown of everything that's included with that before you exchange contracts, so you're able to review it as well.
Brilliant. So they'll have all the information they need. And then obviously, so the service charge is very much the communal areas, but then you're responsible as the owner for the works inside your own property, but sometimes there's warranties and stuff on new builds anyways, and you'll be covered for a certain amount.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm just going through. We had like a flurry of questions, so I just want to make sure I'm asking as many as I can. Oh, so Fatima, this is an interesting one. Can you take out a mortgage on the remaining amount of the shared ownership at any point or time? Or this might be one for Sovereign.
Yes, you can, as long as it's affordable. So I have clients that took out shared ownership, and then when we come to review their mortgage rate, they want to staircase. Normally they do it when their rate is up for renewal, but you can do it at any stage. And then at that point, we will do an affordability with lenders. And if it is affordable, then yes, you can do it at any time.
Perfect. Lots of questions coming in. Keep them coming, guys. Thank you so much. So back over to Sovereign. We have a couple of people asking about parking and if there's parking available at Horlicks.
Jo, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so this one, there isn't parking. However, we do have the car club, which will be coming, and all of the residents will have access to this as well.
Brilliant. So there will be parking available. It's just not within the development and the kind of costs and stuff there.
So it will be within the car club that we have. And obviously, we're also just a really short walk away from Slough train station as well.
Fantastic. I think it's more so, when you're trying to get to the supermarkets and stuff, it's just nice to have your car fairly local, isn't it? Even if you're parking on like a street away or something. So that's brilliant. Yeah, we had quite a few people asking about that. So thank you for that. Keep these questions coming. This is all really good. Are these homes leasehold? And if so, how long is the lease?
Yeah, that's correct. Leasehold. Sorry, Jo. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, they are leasehold. All of our shared ownership properties would be leasehold to begin with anyway, because you're buying a share, so we retain the ownership of the building. The lease for this particular development is 990 years, so a nice long one.
That's a very long one.
Very
just for those who are watching that aren't 100% sure kind of what leasehold means, could you give us a bit of information about the difference between leasehold and freehold?
Yeah, I think probably the easiest way to describe it is that if you're a leaseholder, you don't own the land on which the property is built. So this is really, most flats would be leasehold because you're not going to necessarily own the building and the land it's on, you own your apartment within that. Shared ownership is like that, although potentially when you go to staircase, if you live in a house, you may be able to then get the freehold, whereas the apartment block would always remain as leasehold because someone else owns the actual external building and the land.
Absolutely. I think that's often a big misconception, actually, is that you're right. Leasehold is, across all apartments, regardless of tenure, whether that's private sale, whether that's help to buy. I think a lot of the time people cotton on and think, oh, God, that's just for shared ownership. It's actually not. It's just apartments as a whole, because obviously you've got all these properties on the land. Yeah. So I think that's really good for people to understand the difference between the two. So thank you there, Hope. I'm just trying to see what ones we're getting a lot of questions on. Sorry that I'm getting very, very close to the screen.
That's okay.
I'm not sure if you covered this in the presentation, but a couple of people are asking when pricing and stuff will become available. Is that imminent, or are we thinking this side of Christmas that we'll have all that kind of available? Oh, I think you might be muted.
Thank you. So for everybody that's joined the webinar today, make sure that you register your preference with us directly on the link that came up on your screen. And what you'll need to do is register the preference. Then everybody who's registered on Wednesday, the 12th of October, you will be sent an email. And within that email, you will have the link to all of the floor plans that are available, the plot numbers. You'll also have the pricing, the shares that are available from, and also an estimated service charge will be within that as well.
Fantastic. We've got time for a couple more questions, so I'll just have a quick look through and see what is coming up. Fatima, probably one for you. A couple talking about being self-employed, what they would kind of need to provide you to get their mortgage.
Yeah, for self-employed, most lenders want to see 2 years worth of accounts, and normally just your business statements as well. You are limited to lenders if you've been doing self-employment for 1 year, but there will be some lenders that can assist depending on the size of the deposit as well.
Fantastic. I think that's really good to know as well, because, you can worry, I think, self-employed, that you're just not going to get a look in. So it's good to know that those options are there. It's just kind of coming to you guys, having that chat, figuring out what they need to give you, what they can afford. I think a lot of this is just about having that conversation with the right people,
Absolutely.
What documentation do you need? How much? Tell me all the good news. That's what they want, isn't it? So you can still buy if you're self-employed.
Definitely.
There might just be, I guess, a few extra steps and a few bits of extra documentation that you need to provide. Perfect. And then we have a question around selling shared ownership. So the process, if you say buy a flat at Horlicks Quarter and then you want to sell, what is the process and how easy is it?
Yeah, so we actually have a dedicated resales team that deal with that in our company. But in terms of selling, generally speaking, with our shared ownership, there's what's known as a 4-week nomination period. So once you decide you'd like to sell, we will sort of send the information, collect photos from you, and we'll advertise the property for 4 weeks. And if it doesn't sell within that period, then you're welcome to go with an estate agent. and sell it sort of traditionally. You also have the option to simultaneously staircase and sell, which means you could sell the property on the open market to a buyer that wants to buy 100% of it. You don't necessarily have to sell it on a shared ownership. So I actually think there's probably more flexibility to sell shared ownership, because you could sell as a share or you could sell it outright. So yeah, they should be relatively straightforward, but we have a dedicated team that's here to help you throughout the process.
Fantastic. And then just one more on the financial side. Is there a minimum income required for shared ownership as a whole? So not necessarily just for Horlicks Quarter, but yeah, minimum incomes. Because obviously we have the maximum, which is 80,000 outside of London, 90,000 inside of London, but we're talking minimum amounts.
I'll take that one. I don't think there's a minimum amount as such. It's all to do with the share you're looking to buy and making sure that the payments are affordable to you long term. There are criteria set out by Homes England, and they want to make sure that a certain percentage of your money is not more than that is spent per month on your mortgage and rent payments, and that really is the priority. So no minimum income as such. It will just depend on the share and the property you're looking at.
Perfect. Again, it all comes down to valuations and stuff of the property as well, isn't it? And yeah, so that's brilliant. Good to know as well, especially like single income households and stuff. I think there's sometimes worries around that. There is still options there for you. There's no kind of minimum that you need to meet. It will just all depend on the property itself. Perfect. Well, I've had you talking for quite a while now, so we're probably going to have to call it a day here. But thank you so much for answering loads of these questions, and thank you for everyone asking. There's been a bit of a flurry, kind of as soon as the Q&A starts, there's always like an influx of the questions that come through. What I'm going to do before we head off is I'm just going to share a slide with your URLs on them, so that if any of the audience would like to make contact with Sovereign or Firstxtra, they can kind of go through these means. Oh, I've just realised, Hope, there's a little bit more about the kind of
it's just
process, isn't there? Sorry,
no,
I've stopped.
How to apply? Don't worry, still got our links up there. That's the main thing. It was just sort of very briefly talking you guys through if you are interested in applying for one of these houses.
I'm just getting this back up. Sorry, Hope, that's completely my fault.
That's no problem at all.
It's just going to take me a second.
No trouble.
So sorry, that's me storming ahead.
Yeah,
I get very trigger happy with these buttons.
You're clicking so
Here we are.
Lovely. Thanks, everyone. So yeah, if you are interested in owning one of these absolutely stunning properties at the Horlicks Quarter, then please make sure you complete all of these steps. So 1, you need to register your preference for this development with us via our website. The attendance to the webinar will still require you to register, so please make sure you click on that link that appears, and you'll also need to be registered with Help to Buy Agent 3 via their website. So we will then email you with all of the release prices, information on how to apply, contact details for Fatima on Wednesday, the 12th of October. And finally, you will be able to give Firstxtra a ring between the 12th and the 17th of October. That is the window. So if you're interested, make sure you get your application in there, because we're expecting quite a flurry. So lovely. Those are the next steps, really. So yeah, it's been lovely talking to you all and sharing the details of this site with you. And myself, Joe and Fatima, look forward to moving you into your dream home at Horlicks Quarter in the new year.
That's so exciting. Sorry for storming ahead there. What I'll do is I'll put those links back up. So this is for Sovereign and Firstxtra. So if you do want to reach out to these guys, ask them any more questions about the services or the scheme, then you can go by these. So that's pretty much it for now. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Hope, Joe and Fatima for joining me today. You've done an amazing job and answered lots of viewers' questions. I'm sure you've helped lots of people, especially those early in their kind of buying stages. And also thank you to everyone in the audience who watched and engaged. We hope you found the session useful. If you would like access to the recording of the session, that will be going live across the Share to Buy website and our social channels within the next 24 hours, so keep an eye out. And if you'd like to keep up to date with any future webinars, you can create an account with us at sharetobuy.com, or you can keep an eye on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages. But that's it from us for now. Thank you again for joining, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.